Hello again. Today is 19th of January. Now it's 4:30 afternoon Moscow time. And this is gonna be my second video for today. I may even upload a third one if there is some interesting news updates. But for now, let's talk news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and the Russian language pages on different social internet platforms right now. And first of all, I will give you information about conflict in Ukraine. And there we had some updates. So let me read it for you. Forces that are loyal to Zelensky's regime lost about 30,000 soldiers killed in action and wounded in the direction of Solidar and Bakhmut. The armed forces of Ukraine involved up to 14 brigades in the Artyomovsk, that's Bakhmut, and Solidar direction. In battle with Russian forces, they lost 60 to 70% of the personnel. This was announced, this was said on Thursday by a military expert colonel from the Lugansk People's Republic, Vitaly Kisilyov. And there is quote, the enemy sent about 14 brigades formed from territorial defense fighters to the Artyomovsk and Solidar directions in order to hold Solidar and Artyomovsk. The brigade is approximately 4,000 soldiers. These brigades lost about 60 to 70% of personnel, said Vitaly Kisilyov in a broadcast on Channel 1 on Russian TV. As you probably will agree, Vitaly Kisilyov is talking about some huge casualties here on the side of Zelensky's regime. 14 brigades, if one brigade is approximately 4,000 people, then 14 brigades, that's 48,000. And if up to 70% of personnel is killed or wounded, that's around 30,000 soldiers. Huge loss for Zelensky's regime, definitely. And if it's true, there is no way I can confirm this information, but if it's true, then this news correlates with the information that I was talking about in the morning in the first video today about problems that armed forces that are loyal to Zelensky's regime are experiencing with manpower. It's not gonna be easy for Zelensky and his people to reinforce these brigades that has so many casualties in Solidar and Artyomovsk directions. And the situation for Kiev is even more fatal because right now not just Bakhmut is in operational encirclement, but same situation is in Seversk. And in first video today I did talk about Zaluzhny's demands from Zelensky to withdraw forces from these two cities. So that's first news that I was planning to talk about, but there is many other informations that you may find interesting. I did open media outlets here, and let's go and one by one talk about, like, for a few minutes about each of this news. Here first is that Oh no, man! I'm gonna start with this information. Kremlin did react on statements that was made in Washington about giving Zelensky's regime weapons, long-range weapons, so that they can fire those weapons to direction of Crimea. And of course, Russian side did a response on that. The Russian ambassador in Washington, Anatoly Antonov, did said that this kind of development will be big mistake from on part of Washington, and Moscow will definitely react accordingly if Washington will give Ukraine long-range weapons. And today, press speaker of Russian President Dmitry Peskov also reacted on this news, and he said that Kremlin did warn Western allies of Zelensky's Nazi regime that there will be consequences if they give Zelensky and his military weapons to attack Crimea. Consequences for everyone. And this is quite serious warning. And one should say that Western elites did not listen to Russian warnings for decades now. Since collapse of Soviet Union. But maybe this is a time to listen. And maybe this is time Western societies to wake up really and demand from the governments to stop support this Nazi regime in Ukraine, because Western elites obviously are endangering citizens of Western countries too, not just citizens of Ukraine or Russia, but citizens of Western countries too. And what more clear warning Moscow had to give to the Western elites? I mean, you tell me. Because Russian officials are saying that don't escalate, otherwise we will respond. We will respond, and I believe that will be a case. So those idiots in governments of Western countries should clearly understand how quickly situation is deteriorating, and how much danger it can bring to entire world, basically. So this is news that I was thinking is quite interesting, and yeah, let's go and check some other news. Here, this is TASS News Agency. We have information here that top-ranking U.S. military officials are not ready yet. I mean, they are saying that it's not time yet to send Abrams main battle tanks, M1A1, if I remember correctly. That's how they call this tank. So they are saying that it's not time yet to send Abrams main battle tanks to Ukraine. And one of the reasons behind this position is that these tanks are quite different from what Zelensky's regime is used to, and it will be difficult to operate these tanks for Ukrainian forces. And that's basically, I mean, true. Everyone does understands that Western tanks, not just Abrams, but Abrams, Leopard 2, or Challenger 2, or even Leclerc, French main battle tank, they are very much different from the Soviet tanks, which are in operation in Ukrainian armed forces. Take T-64, T-72, T-80, and it will be a logistical nightmare for Zelensky and his military to operate so many different types of armored vehicles. It's already probably logistical nightmare for them because many countries, many NATO member countries are sending weapons, including vehicles, armored vehicles, to Ukraine, and all those vehicles are different and they need different parts. They may use same, for example, ammunition, but vehicles in itself are different, and all those and all of them need some special equipment to be maintained on a field, or operational on a field. That's why we are seeing so many videos on Telegram, for example, where Ukrainian soldiers are just abandoning those Western armored personnel carriers, for example, because they cannot repair them on the field. And closest place where they can send those vehicles to be repaired is Poland, which is in hundreds of kilometers from the front line. So this is quite interesting news in my understanding. It seems like Washington is not ready yet, or maybe even not considering seriously to send its main battle tanks to Ukraine, even though they are sending light armored vehicles like Bradleys. So let's see how this will develop. I mean, today I did read information that France is considering to send its main battle tanks, Leclercs, to Ukraine. So we may see French tanks on the battlefield there. As you know, British leadership already did decide to send to Ukraine hundreds of lightly armored personnel carriers and 14 Challenger 2 tanks. Poland officials are saying that they will send Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine, and I did read today information that Polish leadership is considering sending Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine even without permission from Germany. And as you know, when country in which certain weapons were manufactured, they are exporting the weapons. They are asking, they have a right on to ask buyer to take permission from them if they will re-export these weapons. That's why European NATO member states that are operating Leopard 2 tanks, for example, are asking Germany for permission to re-export these tanks. What else, man? Let's read some more news. Yeah, this is news that Peskov did react, and Russian ambassador in USA. We have news here from, this is TASS news agency, and this article is based on a New York Times report that in administration of Joe Biden, some officials are considering to give Ukraine means to deliver rockets to the Crimea. So This will be a crazy move, basically. I mean, of course, you know probably that there were talks about long range, middle range, let's say, missiles that can be launched from HIMARS multi-launch rocket systems. Uh, but for now, it seems like Washington still is not yet ready to escalate that much this conflict, and this is good. I mean, probably there are some sane people in White House and in Pentagon. You know, let's hope they will prevail. You know, otherwise, world gonna end up in big trouble. Let's see some other news. So I will give you this information, and this will be for this video. Ukraine is asking Georgia for armored personnel carriers. Didgori, that's the name of those armored personnel carriers. It seems like Zelensky's Nazi regime and the masters of this regime in the West are not leaving. They are still trying, actively trying to somehow open second front against Russia, and it seems like they are considering involvement of Georgia in conflict in Ukraine. Maybe the pathway to the opening of the second front, because as you know, Russia and Georgia had in 2008 military conflict, and relations between two countries right now are not at the best level, but at least current Georgian leadership is acting very cautiously, I mean very adequately, one should say, and they are openly saying that Georgia will not be involved in this conflict in Ukraine in any ways, and Georgia will don't send military equipment to Ukraine or any other side of this conflict. I mean, second side is Russia, obviously, and that's only right way to conduct itself in this situation for Georgia, in my opinion. But yet again, I mean, a few days ago, I did read information that Zelensky's regime was asking Georgia for air defense systems. Now they are asking for personal armored personal carriers, and they will probably don't stop. You know, they will try. They and their masters, their Western masters, will try to the end to somehow provoke conflict between Georgia and Russia. I hope Georgian government will keep its position, its current position, and will not involve Georgia in any way in this conflict, because Georgia does not need this, and Georgian citizens definitely don't need any conflict with anyone, really, particularly with Russia. So I think this is interesting information too. So yes, that's it, man. What else, man? If you find this video interesting, please consider to subscribe to my channel if you are new. Push that like button, leave some commentary, and of course I will ask you, if I may, to consider sharing information with your friends about my channel and sharing links to my channel and my videos on the internet platform that you are active. That will greatly increase my chances to reach wider audience. So please consider that. This is it for now. This is it for now. As I said, if there is some interesting developments, I may make a third video for today. But for now, this is it. Thank you for your time. Take care and see you soon.